Look at my kitten, nigga. What? Look at my kitten, nigga. Yeah. Look at my kitten, nigga. What? She cute as fuck. Yeah. Look at my kitten, nigga. What? Look at my kitten, nigga. Yeah. Look at my kitten, nigga. What? She's a cat. She got a flower on her collar. She sounds so small every time she try to holler. Fur is on calico, she ain't even spayed yet. All y'all bitches is her sons for real. Looking so pretty in the sun for real. Still need her shots, but for now let's chill. I got a question. Y'all ever see her face this cute? When I put her food down, she come right on cue. I love you. This face means I love you too. She sleepy. That's really all she likes to do. She has a real convenient bag when we on the move. She has a gay pride to it. She's progressive too. Let it flow. Really love her cause I know she'll never lie to me. Got a puppy on my shirt cause I love irony. Look, we go for Watts and she even go on jazz with me. This pussy better than pussy. Yeah. Look at my kitten, nigga. What? Look at my kitten, nigga. Yeah. Look at my kitten, nigga. What? She cute as fuck. I named her Dilla cause you know, why not? She make me feel like it's beats. Like everything would just be alright and shit. I bet you can't make your cat a better theme song than this one, nigga.
Growing up is realizing that a lot of black people do not want equality, they just want white privilege. But
Kanye West said this when he was doing that rant about how much he hated Jewish people and all that. He also said in that same interview, in that same podcast, he said, having $1 billion is the closest I've ever been to being white. That's why I say stuff like, if a black man hates a black woman, he's a white supremacist. And I shouldn't have to elaborate on that.
My cat died today.
Get a new one.
Good day, mama.
Check out this video. I'll be right back.
As Christians, we don't speak to our ancestors. Those are demons.
So let me get this right. If I'm black and my ancestors are black, but in Christianity, it is a sin or a demonic or a satanic. If I talk to my black ass ancestors, that would make Christianity anti-black.
When I was in seminary, I wrote a research paper called Is the Black Church Anti-Black? The Black Church, the Religion of White Supremacy, and the African Diaspora's Identity Crisis. And some of the first content I did on here was a 6-part video series on that essay. Is the Black Church anti-black? I'm going to be making a total of 6 videos for this series, so if you desire to get the full scope of my research, please watch them all. But one of the first things European colonizers did at the beginning was demonize African spiritual practices. So if you want to know why we still talk about colonialism to this day, people will say, why you keep bringing up old stuff? It's because that old stuff is what has so many people still in the present day demonizing the spiritual practices of their ancestors. Practices that if colonizers never set foot in Africa, many of us would probably still be doing. That old stuff is what had black church pastors attacking the Black Lives Matter movement because it didn't center the black church as part of its foundation. So when I ask is the black church anti-black, it's not meant to be antagonistic. It is meant to get the wheels turning on some of the anti-black ideas that are weaved in Western Christian theology. For example, why is it the devil when it's indigenous African, but God when it's American Christian? Or in other words, why is it cool when they do it, but a problem when we do it? As a self-identified son of the black church, which I mentioned in the essay, I wanted to specifically name the black church and deconstruct this anti-blackness for people like me. Because, in the words of Kemi Alabi, I refuse to spend my entire black life explaining white supremacy to itself. So if you want to check out the essay, you can find it here. And be sure to check out my 6-part series on this essay in my Black Church playlist right below the caption. Love and liberation to you all, and as always, like and follow for more content.
Accuse them of racism when they participate in their own safe spaces?
Please check out that creator's entire video. It's really good. And he's basically asking, how does it make sense that when people of color celebrate and empower each other in the safe spaces that we've had to create for ourselves due to the racism that we experience, we get accused of being racist? And I think it's important to keep in mind that when people of color are marginalized through racism, it's not expected that we create our own safe spaces in which we celebrate and empower one another, because racism is narcissistic abuse. For people who are racist, what they want and what they believe is that when they close the door in our face, we press our noses to the glass and we look in, because they want us to feel excluded and less than and envious. So they tend to get upset when they find out that not only are we not looking at them, not only are they not centered, but we have a bigger and better party going on outside, or we've taken our party to somebody else's house. That's when they say, why are you excluding me? Why are you creating division? And why are you being racist? And most of the time, they don't even want to be included, because a lot of us are more than happy to include anybody who is not harmful. But it makes sense to a person who is racist that the only way they can recenter themselves is to play victim. Because when you're used to being centered, equality feels like oppression.
They even got computers trying to be me. Cause that real Drizzy Drake feature come for a feed. No. Online, they copy me with that AI. This many #1 hits, boy, I can see why. Yeah.
In this hole, turn me up, I'm trying to fuck. Point me to the sluts. What that nigga tough, he out of luck. For them gave him up.
Love a black woman for infinite and infinite.
If you're black and someone comments that you're being divisive anytime that you talk about race, good, bad, neutral, whatever, stop while you're ahead. They've already made up their minds. There's nothing else you can do. One, they're only saying it to you because you're black. They would not say this to anyone else because they probably wouldn't take it as personally. And two, it's a tactic used to keep you quiet whenever they don't agree with whatever it is that you're talking about. They pull out the whole "you're dividing an already divided nation, how sad, blah, blah, blah," as if it's your responsibility as a black person to fix it. And according to this logic, the only way you can fix it is by not saying anything. So if you get comments like this, don't even worry about it. They've already made up their minds. Keep being divisive, also known as making observations.
Legs and hips and body. Let's get 'em, girls. Body. I got do ba 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 do boo do a boo ba do ba do boo ba do a do ba do ba do a do ba do ba do do a do ba do ba do a do ba do ba do ba do.
Tall and tan and young and lovely, the girl from Ipanema goes walking
out of town, thuggin' with my round, my coochie pink, my booty hole brown. Where the niggas come looking for the hoes, we're playing nigga, come suck a bitch soul. Pound town, just left pound town. Let my nigga, he just took a bitch down. Yeah, that nigga dig a bitch down. Yeah, that nigga eat me out. Pound town, just left pound town. Let my nigga, he just took a bitch down. Yeah, that nigga dig a bitch down. Yeah, that nigga eat me out. I'm out here in Miami, looking for the hoochie daddy. Where the niggas that get ratchet? Where they at? My son need a new family.
Did you pray today? Did you pray today? I can get down on some gangsta shit.
You give people genuine compliments, you change how they experience themselves. And that's why I'm such a big believer that like the thoughtful compliment that almost brings you to tears to say, because it's so vulnerable. Like it's something you deeply see in someone or admire, or like, oh wow, like I always notice you go out of your way to make sure everyone around you feels comfortable. Thank you so much for doing that. That's a trait that I always value in people and that I know can often be thankless, but just know that I see you. Like going that extra mile to like be vulnerable. I think with how people look, it's like the easiest thing to just like, oh, I love your necklace. I do that as well, and it's like it does create like a sparky energy. But how can we also like dig deeper and really give people their flowers, write their eulogies while they're alive, to hear the words and to allow themselves to be like, wow, maybe I am wise, maybe I am helpful, maybe I am creative. I think we are not meant to form our conception of self from ourself, but from our community, from our others. Okay, thank you for being that for me. You've truly changed my understanding and conception of.
Bring your baddest bitch out. Bring your baddest bitch out. Bring your baddest bitch.
Got a lot of pains, got a lot of IP on me. I gotta feel myself off. I gotta feel myself off. I gotta feel it out. I
welcome to the very first episode of What the Fuck. So I just saw a really great video from a creator. I'm going to tag her because I don't remember what her username is. In that video, she talks about the way that white people view marginalized people's safe spaces. They exclude us from their spaces and then call us racist when we create our own spaces. But there was a comment that caught my eye. So I wasn't going to make a video about the whole Fanita controversy, but this comment really kind of put things in perspective for me. This commenter says, they want to own the club, keep us out, and make sure we don't build our own. They'll let some of us in, but only if we're entertaining or useful. And so I've noticed a lot of people don't really understand why the Black community is really upset about the whole Fanita controversy. It's the they'll let some of us in part for me. And that's what we're seeing in real time. They let Fanita in because she was entertaining. And when white people let you into their spaces, there are a few things you're going to need to sacrifice. You're going to need to sacrifice community and often identity. And we've seen this happen before with people like Candace Owens and Kanye West. They sacrificed community and identity to be in white spaces. And we don't bang with that.
It may not mean nothing to y'all, but understand nothing was done for me. So I don't plan on stopping at all. I want this shit forever, mine, ever mine, ever mine. I'm shutting shit down in the...
If you upset, put your face in my ass while I shit in your mouth. I don't give a fuck.
For all the people that was sick about the moon boots on the beach, prepare to be sick of me in 2023, because this is going to be my most camp era yet. The year of Aaliyah Court. Like, come on.
This is so cute. Hush, you might be rocking Michael Kors. Or maybe I'm just tripping, it's Dior. I feel like I am at my last resort. Don't tell you buying things I can't afford, except for my Aaliyah,
Have you noticed the only people that have a problem with your standards are always the people that can't meet them? Your standards too much. You too high maintenance. It's the people you didn't want in the first place. Quit allowing the people you don't want to make you think about lowering your standards and settling. Because you'll start to settle. And when you settle, that's when the suffering starts. The men that can meet your standards ain't complaining about the fact that you got them. One man that is confident, self-assured, one man that is an effective leader, that has his money on right, his heart is healed, is complaining that you asking for a man to come to you healed. That you want a man that's financially stable. What man that can be faithful is mad that you're requiring that a man is faithful and self-disciplined? Y'all keep listening to these that can't meet your standards, and you are thinking about settling them for men that ultimately is only gonna break your heart and waste your time. Men that can meet your standards don't argue with you about you having them. I wish I had my life.
You wanna know your money? You want your body, you want your money. You want your money. You want all me, you want all me. You want all me. You all me. I wanna be with you. I know me.
Have to be skinny to be pretty. You don't have to be skinny to be pretty. You don't have to be skinny. You don't have to be skinny. You don't have to be skinny to be pretty.
I don't know
about y'all, but these complex compliments are fucking scaring me. Because at first it was like, what's 4 plus 4? I'm like, oh, 8. Like, they're trying to say I look good. It was like, what's the square root of 64? Like, 8, maybe? What the fuck is this? Stop it. I don't know what to fucking chill. I did not pass algebra.
Ariel! Come outside, sis! Where you at?
Here when I'm with your mommy.
Know when you're body, know when you want me. Know when you want me. Know when open, know when open. Know when open. Know open. I wanna be with you and know me.
Now fuck that! On everything y'all got me fucked up! On my mama y'all got me fucked up!
Waves wash over me. I drift to the deep end. Don't say, don't say, don't say. It's a low tide. I found peace in drowning. Running out of time, running out of time, running out of time, running out of time to make you love me. Living and pretend. Keep it $1.50, fuck all. Living and pretend. All you.
Yeah, if you talk to me, baby, then talk to me.
If you don't think you could beat a grizzly bear's ass, you need to work on yourself. And I'm not saying you need to be delusional enough to believe in yourself to do something like that. I'm saying you need to be so mentally unhinged that you might just pop that bear in the mouth so fucking hard he's gonna start swimming upstream with the tuna. That's who I am. And that's who I want you to be.
Do I believe that you should prioritize your romantic relationships over your friendships in most cases?
Go back and watch Haim's entire video about why prioritizing your romantic relationships over your friendships is a poor way of building community and why it's rooted in white supremacy. I just want to add some clarification to the whole conversation. Obviously, whenever there's a new relationship in your life, especially a romantic one, your time with your friends is going to be less, right? Because you now have to make time for this new person in your life. The issue comes up when you all start treating your friends as an afterthought. It might be subconscious, but you still think of your friends as an afterthought as opposed to your partner. And not seeing it as, I am now in a relationship, I now have to divide my time with my friends, my family, my partner, and myself. And my friends, my family, and my partner have to support me in doing those things. Meaning my family and friends have to understand they're not going to see me as much, and my partner has to make sure I am still maintaining a good connection with my family and friends even though they're dating me now. And to add some DV advocacy into it, your friends and family are more than likely going to recognize the abusive behaviors from your partner before you do. So that's why you need to maintain a healthy connection with those people, and to some degree they have to be in the loop of your relationship because they have to know what's going on with you. Of course, your time will be divided for sure, but it is all about balance. Your friends still have to feel connected to you even though you're in a relationship with a new person.
Oh, that I didn't. Y'all didn't know that?
So because I couldn't stitch the original poster, this is no shade or hate to the person I'm stitching here, but I find this absolutely fascinating of the fact that a trans woman have to speak up on the interwebs, on the news, on Beyonce's internet to tell cisgender women that yes, this anti-drag bill that is so vague that even a dress pant and blazers on a work day is going to affect cisgender women as well. That's when y'all start to speak up about it? Because these anti-LGBT bills are so vague at this point that literally anyone could be affected by this. Y'all didn't catch up on this? There's currently a bill in Florida that's trying to be passed to ban not only hormone replacement therapy, but mammograms and prostate exams as well. Please do your research here.
So can somebody tell me, is it a crime to want them all?
out of town, thuggin' with my round. My coochie pink, my booty hole brown. Where the niggas come looking for the hoes. Quit playing, nigga, cause suck a bitch soul. Pound town, just left pound town. Let my nigga, he just took a bitch down. Yeah, that nigga dig a bitch down. Yeah, that nigga eat me out. Pound town, just left pound town. Let my nigga, he just took a bitch down. Yeah, that nigga dig a bitch down. Yeah, that nigga eat me out. I'm out here in Miami, looking for the hoochie daddy. Where the niggas that get ratchet? Where they at? My son need a new family.
It's my money and I need it now. My money and I need it now. It's my money and y'all need to shut the hell up. It got work.
Beyonce has gender-neutral bathrooms at the Renaissance Tour locations, and I need y'all to understand how much peace that brought to my spirit, because it's so important for artists, especially artists who know that they have a diverse audience, to pay attention to those small things that may actually seem small, but they're actually so major. Although I can't imagine myself needing to go to the restroom during a Beyonce concert life experience. But just those type of things, especially when you're a femme-presenting person who identifies as a male, using a restroom can be such a very interesting, tricky experience, depending on the setting, especially with like a lot of people around and constant ebb and flow. So knowing that there's a gender-neutral bathroom at these concerts are amazing to know, and I hope that y'all feel the same way.
Me off, my wrist goes click. Dimples on my hips, stretch marks on my tits. Drinking my water, minding my biz. Monday I'm overrated, Tuesday on my dick. Flip flop, flippy flip flopping ass bitch. Fan me off, watch my wrist go click. Fan me off, I'm hot like stolen Chanel. Lock me up in jail. Cuff me please, cause this ain't fair. Dripped in my pearls like Coco Chanel. Uncle Johnny made my dress that.
Riding through the hood in Atlanta, and guess what I see? Pink ladies, also known as evening primrose, scientific name Enothera speciosa. I tell people all the time, plants communicate just like us. Pink ladies normally indicates disturbance, inconstancy, and infidelity. You'll see her on roadsides and in neighborhoods like English Avenue, where gentrification is everywhere. As far as foraging goes, pink ladies is edible from the rooter to the tutor and medicinal.